This is our day 15 on learning Selenium, Java, Cucumber, and the CI techniques. Today we will discuss about wait mechanism in Selenium browser automation. We have to understand that there are different wait mechanism, and basically these three are the Selenium provided kind of wait mechanism. You can write your own also. You have a power of programming, and if you understand about uh, waiting for something or synchronization pattern, you can create your own wait mechanism also, right? But why to wait? Why to create a new one? It's like reinventing the wheel. Okay, so we already have this and we can use it. So that's sufficient to put a kind of weight um, for particular condition. So let's understand why weight is important. Why we need a weight? Why we need weight mechanism? Thing is, when we are working on browser, right? So let's say I'm opening a particular website. Let me open, let's say testology.in. If you see here, it takes, first of all, it takes time to load. And then whenever I click on something, when I click here, let's say why testology, you see here, it's taking time to load again. And sometimes when you click on something, so for example, if I go here, and sometimes the elements here, right, the content of the website also takes time to get visible, to get clickable, to get like displayed, right? And how our automation code works, if you will not put any wait mechanism, our test script will fail, because Java code will not wait for the load of the element, display of the element, right? If you're writing the code one by one, you know, the step by step, let's say clicking on the chapter 2 and then uh, going back to the contact and then clicking back onto SQL. Let's say there is a proper flow and then clicking on chapter 8, right? If you are writing the code um, step by step, it will happen very fast. It won't wait by default to, you know, content to be uploaded, content to be, sorry, loaded properly, or a particular thing to be, you know, um, displayed, or a particular element to become clickable. It doesn't wait on its own. We have to put the wait mechanism. It's like this. So there are different weight here. If you see here, implicit weight, explicit weight, fluent weight. Okay. Now there are a lot of discussion is happening in different blogs and everything, but it's always better to go with the official documentation. So the official documentation, which is provided by Selenium itself. So if you want to search what kind of weight we have, what is the proper definition of different kind of weight we have, right? So always go with um, the official documentation provided by uh, the selenium.dev website itself, right? So for example, okay, how I reached here, I want to show. So if I search, okay, selenium.dev, here is the documentation. because different websites have their views on related to weight, right? And I have seen some of the website has wrongly mentioned about how this weight works, sometimes a bad definition. So it's better to go with the official documentation. Okay. So I am on the documentation part, and this is I am showing you because anytime if you want to check a particular thing related to how to write the code, the syntax, it's better to come here and check. Okay. So let's see if I'm searching here, implicit weight. Okay. So here in the weight inside, there is an implicit weight. Okay. So this is the whole uh, theory behind it, how it works and everything, right? So let's understand through their official document itself. Okay. So they are saying that it's a second type of weight apart from explicit weight. Okay, implicit weight. By implicitly weighting, WebDriver polls the DOM for a certain duration when trying to find an element. So this is the proper definition of implicit weight. By implicitly weighting, WebDriver polls the DOM. Polls mean checking again and again. Okay, it's a technical word, uh, polling mechanism or polls. It means it is checking regularly on certain time interval. So by implicitly weighting, WebDriver polls the DOM. DOM means the whole HTML structure for a certain duration when trying to find any element. These can be useful when certain elements on the web page are not available immediately and need some time to load. Okay. So also, if somebody asks you when implicit wait is useful, so this is the answer. This can be useful when certain elements on the web page are not available immediately. So this is more of related to availability of the element on a page. Okay. Implicit waiting for elements to appear is disabled by default. So they are saying that implicit wait is not like implicitly already implemented. You have to write a code for that. Okay. You have to manually enable the implicit wait. Mixing implicit weight and explicit weight will cause unintended consequences. Normally, wait sleeping the maximum time even if the element is available or condition is true. So the thing is, do not mix up the explicit and implicit weight. Always, it's like use it properly. What they're saying is it may cause one consequences like even if the element is available, it is waiting for the max time. It may happen. It's just, it will not happen absolutely like this, but they're saying that it may happen. Okay, fine. And there is a warning. Do not mix implicit and explicit weights. Doing so can cause unpredictable wait times. For example, setting an implicit wait of 10 seconds and an explicit wait of 15 seconds could cause a timeout to occur after 20 seconds. I don't know the real technical reason behind it, but they said that don't mix both the things. That's fine. An implicit wait is to tell WebDriver to poll DOM for a certain amount of time when trying to find an element or elements if they are not immediately available. So this is the official definition of implicit wait, and it's perfectly fine. The default setting is 0, meaning disabled. So you have to enable it properly. So you have to once set the implicit wait is set for the life of the session. Now let's understand. You don't have to write implicit wait code again and again. It's just one time activity. It is just one time activity that you have to do. Default setting is 0. Okay, let's understand the implicit way is set for the life of the session. So till your driver instance is alive, it will work. Okay, so the code is this particular syntax. So let me copy this and I will put it here itself. Okay, so very simple syntax is driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicit wait, and you have to put the time. Okay, 10, but what is the unit? You want to wait it for 10 seconds. Okay, how it works? It's very simple. Whenever you do driver dot find element, what happens is you are finding an element. Let's say you are finding an element called contact. Let's say this. Once the page is loaded, you want to do driver dot find element by link text contact, and you want to click it, right? So if it is not available, at the very first second, it will poll on every 500 milliseconds. Okay, and once it is available, it will do whatever. If you want to do a click, it will do a click. If you want to do something else with that element, it will do it. We'll see a proper example for this. Okay, let's write one example for this. Going to our batch, and here why not copy a previous one? No, let's make a new one. New. I'm making a simple Java class. I'm not making a test ng one. Okay. So this is implicit. And I have a code I'm taking from a website so that we will not waste time on getting a particular example. So for example, when you want to use implicit wait, right? You How it will work, that I just want to show you through a simple code. Okay, so I'm copying this, just a simple code. Okay, okay, let's make it the test ng way only so that everything will be clear what we are doing. Okay, fine. We'll not have a main function then. And this is from the annotation. So that's another way I am deleting it. Okay, driver is equals to new Chrome driver, and this one time unit you have to import from java.util.concurrent. Okay, what is the problem with this Chrome driver? Okay, then okay, I'll make you understand about date part. It's a Java code, and then by. Okay, everything we are importing after method. Done. This code is done, and let's use our website. So for example, our website which we want to use is testology.in. So if I go here, copying this, putting it here, Okay, now let's understand what it is. So how implicit wait works. Okay, so here we are putting some kind of wrong ID which is not present. So let's say the step is simply like you want to open testology.in, and let's say you want to click on why testology. So earlier we discussed why testology is, let's say, a link text we can use. So ideal code should be, I'm writing here, correct code is driver dot find element and by dot link text, and that links text is this, and we want to perform. So I'm as of now commenting it. So how implicit wait works is, once you have defined that implicitly wait for 30 seconds and seconds. So here you can define the units. So if I say days, it's possible. Generally, we don't do it. You can define it as hours, microsecond, millisecond, and there are a lot of things. All time unit thing. Then we are maximizing it. We are opening our website, and after that, this particular code is a Java code. So when you say new date, it will show you actually, you know, um, the current date and time, today's date and exact time till milliseconds, I think. So what we are doing, we are just printing at what time, just before finding an element, what is the time? And just after this element is found or not found, what is the time? It's like this, okay? So after method will be executed once this method got executed. So after method is something which executes after each test case. So this will get executed and we will get to know what is the time. Let me delete this driver.quit as of now, commented out, so that uh, the browser will be still open. So what we are doing smartly here is putting the ID as something invalid thing, right? Some invalid thing we are putting, so that because there is nothing called invalid / in my website, so it will keep on finding this element whether it is available. Okay, it works like that. So I'm doing a right click, run as testng test. So let's see how it is working. It is opening testology.in. Okay, and see here, it is still on wait, right? This program is not terminated. It should have terminated. It should have terminated because there is no element like this, correct? There is no element like this. And now if you see here, it is still waiting. So it will complete 30 seconds. It will complete the whole 30 seconds. And after that, it will show us one exception that actually they are unable to locate this particular element. It is unable to find this element. So if you see here, the difference between these two time is 30 seconds. So before we want to work on that element, the time was 10/19/22/1906, which is 06 is like seconds, and this is 1936. That means it has waited for 30 seconds. What will happen if I'll not put the implicit wait? I am commenting out. If you see in the 23rd line, now we have commented the timeout part. And let's run this again. So we are not using any wait part now. And let's see what will happen. Observe the code part. See here how fast it was. It has not waited for anything and test case got failed. Why? Reason is still same. Reason is same, that it was not able to find the element. But this time it happens on the same second. Like wait starts, and there was no wait actually. So it starts with this, let's say, the time 54th second and 54th second. And why? Because there was no wait mechanism. So we commented out this. That's why it was not waiting for that. Even if the ID is wrong, let's say, right? So implicit wait is whether it is a correct mechanism which you are using or it is wrong. In any ways, it will wait for maximum 30 seconds to find that element. It's like this. Okay. So if I will comment out this time and put it here, now this will be a very interesting thing. So this time we want to print this time, and then we want to click on Y testology. So let's see how much time it was taking to find out the Y testology and clicking it. Let's run this. So this is opening now, and once it will be opened, it will click on Y testology. Perfect. What happens in the background? Let's see. So it's saying that wait starts at this 48th second, and within 1 second it was able to perform the whole thing, finding and clicking both actually. So yeah, so it has waited for let's say 500 or 600 milliseconds around, I guess, and then it was able to find this Y testology and it has clicked on it. Okay. Even if this Y testology will, let's say, not loaded, or it's not available on in the website, then what will happen? It will keep on checking in every 500 milliseconds whether now is it now available to work, is it now available to work, is it now available to work, till 30 seconds. If it is available, okay, go ahead, click on it. If it is not available, wait for 30 seconds. Even if after 30 seconds it is not available, then throw the exception. Okay, no such element exception. So this is how implicit wait works. Let's talk about explicit wait and why it is required. So the problem with implicit wait is, let's say at any condition when a particular element is not available, it is wasting our 30 seconds, right? In a sense, I'm saying that, let's say a particular element because of some reason is not available, it is keep on waiting 30 seconds, correct? Or other thing is, let's say you want to customize it to wait for a particular condition, right? Then your implicitly wait will not help you. If you want to wait for a particular element, okay, I'll take all the questions at the end. So explicit weight. So the name itself is implicit weight. Implicit weight, it is implicitly applicable for all the element action, find element action, right? Whereas explicit weight, you put it for a particular element. Okay? You put it for particular element. How to do that thing? I'm again going to the official document only. So the official document says that you have, where is explicit weight? This one. Explicit weight are available to Selenium clients to imperative. Okay, with technical definition, but how it works here. So this means that as long as the condition returns a falsy value, um, it will keep trying and waiting. Correct. Explicit wait allows you to wait for a condition to occur. They make a good fit for synchronizing the state between the browser and its DOM and your WebDriver script. Okay, I'll explain in detail. Okay, so this is the way you can write it in a single line. Actually, we should write it in a 2-line, but okay, we will write in a single line also. So I'm copying the whole code from here, just this code. So it's like that code is a complete code. You can make it in 2 lines also, but let me put it in this way as of now. So explicit wait code is this. So what we do in explicit code is you will write it like this: web element, you can name it anything here. This time what we are doing is we are saying that new WebDriver wait, passing the driver, and then there is a particular duration, and then you are saying until. This is a particular syntax where you will say there will be a wait object created by this, and then dot until, and then there is expected condition, and then you are waiting for element to be clickable. Then you are waiting an element to be clickable. So here you can put a particular condition, element to be clickable or present. We will see in the code itself. So let me take example from a particular blog. So this blog is really good. I will send the link for this blog, and I should give credit also. So there is a person called Anand Bagmar. He has written this blog with a very good explanation about how wait works, what is the difference between implicit and explicit, with a proper example. So this code I'm copying as of now to explain you about explicit wait. Okay, copying this, and I'm making a new class so that it will be separate to understand about implicit and explicit syntax. This will be explicit. Here, again we have to import all these things. Okay, @test is the annotation from testng. WebDriver manager we are not using. Chrome driver we are using, yes, and we are using WebDriver wait mechanism, yes, that is required. And here the same thing like date part. Okay, and this particular thing, import this also using, let's see. So let me copy actually a better simple code, not this, from the official website only. Sorry for this. Where do I start? Yeah, this one. I'm copying this, and instead of this, I'll tell you how to put it in 2 lines, but let me put it here like this. And this will be the element we have is showing us some deep error. We have to add expected condition class, and the constructor WebDriver wait is undefined. Great. Just let me write WebDriver wait w is equals to new WebDriver wait, and here we have to send our driver and timeout in seconds. So I'll write it 20, let's say. I'm making this code a little bit simplified one, and instead of writing this, we should write only w. We have to put this after method, fine, and we will take our same example. I don't want to take different kind of example. So this time we are using explicit wait for the same purpose. Let's say we want to find out an element, but instead of XPath, I want to find out through link text. So it doesn't matter. You have to use a particular identifier or the locator mechanism, right? It doesn't matter whether it is an ID or XPath or anything. So let me copy it. This was Y testology, and here, fine. So the code is done. Let's understand the syntax part of it, and you can write in the next line also, so that it will be visible properly. This time, what we are doing. So syntax is you declare the WebDriver wait instance, okay, by this. So what we do here, we say WebDriver wait w is equals to new WebDriver wait. So WebDriver wait is itself a class which requires 2 parameters. One, what is your latest driver instance, and what is your wait time, 20 seconds, let's say. So by default it is seconds. Okay, so probably how we can understand, it's a parameterized constructor somewhere. Wherever this WebDriver wait code is written, I don't want to go into that. So if I do control click here, we will be able to see the whole code also.
I'm not going into that as of now, but you can go because Selenium is open source, free open source. You can see the code, how WebDriver wait code is written. Okay, how the constructor is written for that. Now, what we are doing here is, so it's a good way. When you want to wait for an element to be clickable, use it like this, that w dot until. So this is the syntax. So until is again like a function which expect one parameter to be passed, and that is like expected condition. And so until this condition will get true, until this condition will get true, it will wait for 20 seconds. It's like this. So it's again a polling mechanism again. But here, the good thing about expected condition is you can put it for what purpose you are waiting, right? So you can say element selection state to be true, right? You can say element to become clickable, right? And invisibility of element, you can wait for an element to become invisible. That is also a good thing. You can check for presence of element, whether that element is present. Wait for the present of the element. You can wait for text to be present on a particular element. You can wait for visibility of the element. So there are different ways, right? So you can use it as per your requirement. For what purpose you want to wait? I want to wait for this link text to become clickable. Then only I want to perform. So what should be my next line? My next line should be, wait, so this should be link. You can give any name. Link for wide testology, something like that. And then, so this is a better way. Now, I will not randomly I want to click. It's like I want to click this element when it becomes clickable. So what we are doing now is, through this code, we are managing it properly, that let it become clickable first, right? Then only click on the element. It's like this. See? So let's understand. So w dot until function returns an element if you're writing in this way. So w, the WebDriver wait instance, until is a function. If you are putting it in this way, that you are waiting for expected condition dot element to be clickable, it returns you the element. This function returns you a web element and will capture that element by this name, and then you want to perform click. It's like this. Okay, so let's run this program. Let me close all previous browser first. So I'm running this. Yes, it has run and there is no failure, everything done, but we want to see how much time it was waiting. Okay, so wait, okay, start time we did not print. We'll print that thing also. Let's print that part. So, but it doesn't make sense. The thing is, we wanted to implement it and we are able to implement. Actually, this line should be there at this point. So wait starts at, and it's not related to click, it's like finding the element. So our wait, we should not write this code here. Let me do a control X here and here. Wait and set this point. And then once the wait is done, you want to click it. It's like this. Okay. Okay. Let's run this. Again, same 1 second it will take, right? Because in 1 second it's like a proper clickable. If you want to print exact milliseconds, how much time duration between it becomes the clickable, you can do it, right? So there is calendar class also which prints you the proper milliseconds also. As of now, it has printed us like this. Oh, within like 500 to 600 milliseconds, it was available. So on the very same seconds, it was clickable. But it may happen that in your website, a particular element takes time to be visible, to be clickable, right? So it's better to put then explicit wait. The difference, if you ask what is the difference then implicit and explicit wait, so the simple difference is explicit wait we put explicitly for a particular element, for explicitly for a particular condition, right? It's a big definition what I'm saying, but everything is explicit about explicit wait. Thing is, you want to wait for an element explicitly to become something, maybe visible, maybe invisible, maybe presence of that element, maybe have some text on that element, or maybe you want to check it for the clickability of it. It's like this. Okay. I'll share a lot of different document blogs. Take it seriously and try on your own on different kind of website. You will get to know what is the real difference between that. It requires a lot of reading to understand when to use explicit wait, when to use a particular function, why not element to be present we should use, why we are using clickable, because this element is a clickable kind of element. That's why I'm waiting for this element to become clickable, right? So based on your application, you have to decide for what purpose you want, what is your expected condition. Let's go to the last part, which is fluent weight. Okay. The last part is fluent weight. Okay. And again, there is one more, there is a proper documentation. I will share this also. So Selenium dev has the documentation in this with Java doc also. So I'm going to the Java doc here. That also you can check, and it has proper example, okay, and the definition. So fluent weight is, first of all, is one class, okay, and if you go to the definition part, it's saying that, okay, why to use, first of all, why to use fluent weight. So fluent weight will give you a freedom to set what is your polling mechanism. Fluent weight is giving you two kind of freedom. First freedom is, let me write it, because in explicit wait when you are writing, you are putting it here, right? The duration, okay, what is your time wait duration, and after that, if it is not available, it will throw you the exception. That is also fine. But fluent weight is giving you two freedom. One is a two new feature. Okay.
You can set polling time. First thing. Second, you can set, it's not timeouts, it's polling time only. You can ignore particular type of exceptions. So what Fluent Weight gives you is you can set that, see, I want to ignore no such element exception in between if it comes. It's like this. So each fluent weight instance defines the maximum amount of weight for a condition as well as the frequency with which to check the condition. Furthermore, the user may configure the weight to ignore specific type of exceptions while waiting, such as no such element exception when searching for an element on the page. Okay. It's a proper definition of fluent weight. It's a very good one. This is a proper official definition in the example how to implement it. So it has this weight interface. Fluent weight is a class actually. So this is the syntax.